Well, we're back again. I'm going to do some work on the 73 Honda CL350. You can see I got the pipes off. They're up here. I took everything apart to clean. So I cleaned those all up, got the surface rust off everything and polished everything. So they are ready to be put back on. But what we're doing is we're taking everything back to stock. You can see these air filters that I purchased. Well, they came with a set of carburetors. They're old used ones. So I bit the bullet and went out and bought some new ones. And these are the new ones. And let me back this out a bit. And they're expensive, 50 bucks a pop for these. And then I had to buy this piece. This slides into a little tube. Now you can't see it, but it's back behind this, where that hole is at. It's straight through. And those things are not being produced today, so one guy on eBay selling them. Yeah, 30 bucks for two of those. Yeah, that's expensive. Bought a set of jets, so I'm going to rejet the bike to its original setting. I have some new carburetor boots, two of those, and anyway, got some exhaust gaskets. So we're going to put it all together. I also bought some used shocks. I've got to take these apart to see if the shock is any good, because these aren't. There's a lot of, it's just the spring. There's no oil in the shock anymore. So I don't know with those that I bought if they're any good or not. They were 20 bucks, so they look nice. They said they only had 2,000 miles on them, so I'm hoping that they'll be okay. We'll see. But anyway, we're going to try to get it all put together and see if we can make it run good. I did purchase a used tack cable. The other one was all cracked up. It still worked, but it was just cracked, and it would leak oil when you put oil down the cable. But I've got everything cleaned up. I have to wax everything, but yeah, washing motorcycles is not my cup of tea, and detailing them, it's just too intricate. There's just takes a lot of time, but they look nice when they're done. So but anyway, in order to get my side covers, those blue side covers that go over the top of these, you have to actually remove the exhaust system, or at least loosen it up enough that you can pull it back to slide that thing in. So I thought, while I'm removing the exhaust, I'll just go ahead and I'll get new filters and everything. So I'll bring you back when we got some more things taken apart here. Well, we're making progress. We have the tank off and the left carburetor here, and I got the boot off. Kind of a pistol to get that tank off. I had a full tank of gas. Yeah, so the bad part is, I'll show you what they have on these tanks, is what they call a crossover tube. Right there, you can kind of see it. And so you have to take this off in order to get the tank off. Well, yeah, you got to plug not only this, but you also got to plug this, because it balances the two sides together. What it does is that on the newer tanks, because on my 75 250 they don't have this. They have, but the there's space in between at the base for the fuel to run from one side to the other. With these tanks, it was like two separate cells. And so the only way to connect them so that you could, you know, evenly let your fuel go down would be to put a crossover tube. And, you know, and so that way you could get fuel out of this side over to this side and out your petcock. But anyway, that was kind of a trick. I had to sit there and hold my finger over the end of this thing and then let this drain as much as I could into the gas can, which I have over here, and I almost got a gallon of fuel or more in that. So, and you can see the floor got a lot of it. So anyway, we're going to work on the other side now, and I'll bring you back when we get the carb store apart. Then we got the carburetor off and taken apart here, and what I need to do is I'm going to replace these two jets. The float height I just checked and adjusted. These are the specs that I have. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it says it's float level at 26 millimeter. I set them at 25. I think it's 24 to 26, and it was set at 24, so I raised it 1 to 25. Standard jet is main jet is 68, secondary jet is 105, and the slow jet's number 35. Well, I don't have any slow jets. I just got the main and secondary, and I do have a 68s, but I do not have a 105. I've got a 110, so I'm going to use that one instead. And I don't know if that make it a little bit richer maybe, but that's the smallest I've got in those. I got 115 and I've got a 120. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm going to pull this, kind of a funky little setup here. It's just these little jets are pressed into these holes, and then this little bent U-shaped thing or V-shaped thing presses up against the bottom of your bowl when you set it on, and it's got little notches that go around these jets, and so it just kind of forces it down and it keeps the jets in place. Pretty crazy. Now my 250, I took it out. It's only got one jet, and it's supposed to have a deal like this, and it's not there. And you can't replace these on the 250s. The 350 I can buy replacement gizmos here, but I can on the 250, and so I thought, well, it ran before. I'm still having issues with it. I think it's the coil and the condenser, so we're waiting for parts for that. But anyway, so let me get to this and get this done, put back together and installed. I got the boot on already, so we will get it done quick. Well, we got her together. Well, we got the carbs gone through, everything's adjusted. We got the new filters on, you can see those, and everything went together pretty well. The jets that were in the carb were the correct jets, so I just I had bought those replacement jets, all those different kinds, and so I just took, it only had one of them of the three in that kit, so I replaced that one with the new ones just because I bought them. Yeah, I wish I would have taken the carbs off first and then, you know, look to see what kind of jets I got, and then just ordered replacement jets instead of ordering a $50 kit. Yeah, that was a waste of money, but it's done. So next we're going to put on the side covers, and then we will put on the exhaust, and then finally the tank will go on. So bring it back when we get to that. Well, I forgot to put those covers that I had painted up. Metal covers that go over the filters. And then you've got this rod and these little nipples on it that go on both sides. And I'm telling you what, that is a trick to get those on there. And yeah, I had to. Let me zoom back out here. See, I got Vaseline all over. I had to grease all this up in here, all the way around, try to slide that up. Once I got it just enough through, then I could get this threaded on that rod. And then I started cinching it up. But yeah, I guess that's the difference between an aftermarket filter and a stock filter. Just looking up here, it looks like there's a notch that black box is supposed to go into, but anyway, it's not in there. So, but now we'll get our covers and we'll pop them on. Well, the side covers are in place. It's the first time since I've owned the bike I've had those side covers that are supposed to be. Look pretty nice. Boy, they're a pistol to get on. I mean, the covers aren't too tough. There's a pin up here and a pin up here. It slides in rubber, and then this goes over that little nub or titty thing that sticks out there, so that it, with a rubber insert behind that piece of chrome, it just pops in there. You put that on first, and then you slide those two up. And I put Vaseline all over everything so that it would just slide into place, which definitely aids, because these are pretty old, these tabs, and you certainly don't want to break them off, you know. So we got her. So now, and jeepers, I had to remove this, loosen this bracket here for the exhaust. That goes up there about right there. You can see why you got to take the exhaust off to get your covers off. Isn't that a dumb design? Man, that's just stupid. Figure once you get those things in place, you'll never have to replace them, or at least not for a long time, but oh boy. Anyway, we're on to the exhaust. I have to pull out these little copper round gaskets in there, and then I got some new ones that they're crushed. They're round, and they crush flat when you put the exhaust pipe in there and tighten it down. Seals it. So we put those on and fasten everything up. I think before I do that though, I want to work on this shock absorber. So let's do that first. Well, this is another day. I got it all back together today. Cleaned up most of it. I got the tank polished up, but it still is kind of a mess. You can see the dents in it, and there's a dent right up there. Yeah, theoretically it should all come off and be reworked. But I got the exhaust on. Air cleaners, covers, carb's gone through. I've got the front end all polished up, and we will proceed from there. Basically, I've got, like I said, I got the exhaust all done. I want to take a look at the points because it still doesn't quite run right, but it's looking pretty good. 1973. CL350, and it's all stock. There's nothing on it that is aftermarket. Well, I mean, there's these shocks. I just bought the shocks. They're not the originals, and but they're identical to the originals. So here are the originals. They're shot. So I cleaned them up. you know, somebody wants them, I'm going to put them on eBay for 20 bucks and see what happens. But the cartridge is not good. It's leaked, the oil's leaked out of it. But yeah, let me start it up here for you. See, it's got 8,500 miles on it, and I've drove it 75 since I've had it. So took it out today for a nice ride, and like I said, it's got a slight miss. This cylinder, the right side, burns fantastic. It's actually a bit on the lean side. This side burns okay. It's still showing rich. So just noticed that. I don't know if that was on before or not. I don't think so. That's my choke. So anyway, let me start her up here for you. See, my neutral light works. Electric start. All the lights on it work, which is nice. Let's see. I've got to adjust this headlight because I was messing around with it. But let me see if the high beam works on here. Yep. So it's good. And then what's nice with the older bikes, you can shut them off if you want. But it's always good safety measures to ride with your lights on. Turn signals works, back works, left side works, and the left side works back there too. So tail lights lit up. On to bigger and better things. Like I said, I'm going to pull the points cover off here. We're going to take a look at that. I want to see if they're timed properly. That's my next avenue. I've gone, I mean, the carbs, everything is stock and it's all been gone through. It's can't be anything wrong with those carbs. So we're going to look at the timing. The guy said he put new coils on it, which they do look like new coils, but they could be faulty. So I don't know. We will see. But anyway, then my 250 is under the cover there. It got a severe problem. I took it out the other day and it started backfiring, popping and everything else, and I brought it back and I tore the carb all apart on that and looked at it, and it was clean as a whistle, nothing wrong with it. So I started up again, and it was doing the same thing. It was idle all right, but as soon as you give it any gas, it backfire and pops. So it's got to be ignition. So it's a 75. I've never done anything to it. It's got original coil and condenser points on it, so I ordered the entire kit. for it. So that's coming, and when that's here, maybe I'll make a video on that, taking care of that. But anyway, then we're off back to the truck. I still got those gauges tore apart on the bench back there. I got to get at, so before I forget how to do it. Anyway, that's all we got. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.